Okay, so AR House 032, about 32 seconds in. Immediately, obviously, rules of order important from N1 half, the reporter's position, and everything this fractals off into in terms of the main SA indexes, one directional FMA from the trajectory of the conversation. This is the house rule. Kind of comes into the station of, well, we were talking actually here about, it wasn't GameStop. It wasn't. It was about the institutional hedge fund companies getting into, and I forget the name offhand there, but there you go to the heading in the video. That's physics. It would FMA like the object would with a shadow problem. That's understandable. I explained the situation. We should be able to move on. About the indexes after a function of these results will correlate destiny, judgment day, rev 10s coming down the pipes about these indexes as far as the system are concerned. This is not just a problem in the fact that you understand it, but you have to understand that that's its own turbulent flow problem. So just in order to train this, there's going to be a same incident of how to train anybody from that detail to understand timelines from here relative instead of any other system that could correlate some gravitational difference against a collision of any form based on separating it all. There you run with dark matter a lot instead of the light on that one. In there about from here, now that I've stopped you at 32 seconds and the House revotes its CEO or judge, or if the topology was from that relative perspective, N1 half, any system functioning into that variable, does the conversation of the rules of the orders of how any of these functions on the SA models correlate to what the answer really is that I'm looking for here. The results of the things on the hedge fund did result to things changing inside of their standard protocol, standard model mass gap of how physics is done, and that is done. The adjustment of the function to make sure that the people who noted the problem were properly handled, and obviously their money into the market of people who understand that idea. There was a capital gain for the problem. If nobody was running into that flood in the entropy, well, then I guess there would be a function to how it does things, but this does change things beyond just the hedge funds companies' pocket changing in terms of the index of, again, the efficiency of stabilizing certain functions inside of there from my position, which could be any of those positions on that index of how to best specify the Petco, hospital, vet variances on our standard model of the governing models of how physics works when the adjusted system comes over from station A into station B for given functions of systems on that determination. And that would correlate to a number from your perspective right now, or an expected number on a spectrum of if it's there, will it FMA for the variables? And does that correlate to the true number on that index of this Taylor series adjusting wave functions and quantum operators for how this thing works? That's going to start to HUD you on your thing. You're going to figure out your own buttons and how to make them work for you to adjust the system on the situation of the saws. Can't be the big one. We're going to do a table saw run for Bluestone, and that is a Bluestone breadboard operation inside of this Last Supper situation government cheese. Greater factory. Everything going to give you friction. So, in there, turbulent flow has to be the correct answer to the relative points that NSNBC gives you the vector answer for to the challenge of the exam for that thing. And you have to set it up that way, not to just be understated to the function of it has to be function from that side for grade, to say the topology on that was a mass spectrometer of options that we're going to present later from NSNBC or Fox News adjusted systems to how, hey, got the number right there. Pen strokes mean this. At the water cooler in a system of Z-coin of how physics can be readjusted to better understand that variable.